Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Capricorn, this is your bi-weekly reading. And if you haven't yet heard my introduction as to what it's about, this is not a twin flame reading. If you're familiar with my channel, you're expecting it to be a twin flame reading. It is not. It is for any and everyone. Positive vibes only, people. Simply based on zodiac sign, sun, moon, or rising. So all are welcome, and we hope to get you some love, work, general, and surrounding energy answers. Okay, let me start with these oracle cards. So I've pre-laid oracle cards for you for advice for masculine and feminine archetype. However, again, it is not a divine union or divine being or twin flame reading. I just broke it down by archetype because, whether we feel we're on a particular path or not, we are all, androgynous at the soul level and have a masculine and a feminine. And one is typically more dominant and prominent, at least externally, than the other. And so if that is the case, then, you may be drawn to one more so than the other. You may want to look at all the above and take all the information. You may resonate with it all. That's fine too. Do your thing. But that's how they're separated. I have not looked at the cards. I'm going to see what they are when you find out what they are. And they come from the following 4 oracle decks. So this is my angel therapy card with an overall energy for you guys of Goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. And I think that this is guiding you, Capricorn, to surrender. The card that's representing you is the 4 of Swords upright. And this is a card of, surrender, rest, recovery, like rejuvenation, to get your energy back, maybe meditation. So just like allowing the universe to work and allowing yourself to be supported. From what I call my hashtag creepy deck, brunette female, which represents the feminine karmic energy in this deck for me. Now, it doesn't have to actually be a person, it can be an energy, just an energy. But sometimes it is a person. And when it is a person, she tends to have dark hair and eyes, although in this picture the eyes are green, and to be a Cancer or a Leo or a Cancer Leo, Cuspian. Again, she doesn't have to be, but that's getting more and more specific. When I pick this up here, I see she is sitting atop the card that represents for me the divine masculine in this deck, dark male. So masculine, you more so than feminine, may be having a karmic situation or relationship that you're needing to work through. And I'm going to say let go of based on the cards that are here. And you've been delayed. You've been holding on to it. And we'll get to that. We'll talk about it some more. Maybe because you felt stuck. You felt blocked. But guess what? Obstacles and blocks are lifted. That's the overall energy for you from the Angels of Abundance deck. All your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with all your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. And despite the wait and delay that there looks to be here, all will be worth waiting for in the end. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So again, you have an overall energy here of the 8 of Wands in reverse. For me, Wands are about movement. And for me, this is a delay in movement. Could be communication as well. Delayed communication, delayed action. Behind it is also the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. And the 4 of Pentacles in reverse for me too tends to be when you're ready to stop delaying. You're ready to finally get into gear, because the 4 of Pentacles upright, for me, yes, it's about, holding on too tightly to something or someone, and like hoarding or having that done to you when it's upright like this. And when it's in reverse, it's kind of like you're finally ready to address that situation and maybe get over your hoarding. I find it easiest to explain the Four of Pentacles from my perspective by starting off explaining it how it relates to work. So, when you have a job that you don't like, you just work there because it pays the bills, because you earn a check and you're able to pay your bills with that check. And that's the only reason you go there. You hate getting up in the morning, or whatever, night shift. If you got the night shift, you hate getting up at night to go there. You don't like the folks there. They don't like you. It's just a miserable existence, but you make a check there. And so that's why you're there. Well, we can be the same way about our relationships too, with the friendships or romantic relationships where we're not happy. We really want out, but we're not doing anything to get out, because other than our unhappiness, but for our unhappiness, everything else works fine. So maybe we're good at paying bills together. Well, he shares the rent with me, or she shares the car note, or she pays the insurance. So I'll just stay here. But you're not talking. You rather not be around each other. I'm hearing this song. Yesterday I talked about this card and I heard a different song. I heard a song by Drew Hill. Now I'm hearing one. I think it was Boys to Men. Let's not wait till the water runs dry. We might find our whole lives passing by. Let's not wait till the water runs dry. We'll make the biggest mistake of our lives. And it's one of the key lines, the one that I had heard initially actually, was some people work things out and some just don't know how to change. And when the Four of Pentacles shows up, that's what you got to figure out, which person you are. Are you the one that wants to work things out? Or are you the one that doesn't know how to change and you just need to, give up on it all? In either case, it's time to have some sort of conversation when this card is showing up. And again, the conversation, the communication, the movement is delayed for whatever reason. I think because you felt restricted, blocked. Now, Capricorn, maybe that's because for quite some time, from April, I believe it was, until just like a week or two ago, your ruler, Saturn, was retrograding your sign. And Pluto's still there, although I believe he leaves this week. I think it was the 3rd. Don't quote me, though, because I haven't looked it up. I just remember that from, I don't know what, from something. It's in my head for some reason. 10-3, Pluto direct, but I'm not positive. But you've had a shift. So maybe that's why some things are different now, and you're feeling different. You're feeling that the obstacles and blocks are lifted. But there is something to address. So again, this Four of Swords represents you and your energy. And it is a card of rest and restoration and you needing a break. Whether it's a break from your romantic relationship, a break from work, and it's time to start planning a vacation or something, a break from your friends and family. The placements that I have set up, this one again representing you most directly, this surrounding you, so you're like your friends, your family, energy that surrounds you, your work and finance, and your love and relationship. So from something, this break could apply to any and all of those. It can also be about, because you need a break, maybe you're planning some sort of vacation or something. For some, this is going to be a small number, but somebody has to plan a vacation or plan a trip because there's like a sick family member, or somebody needs rest and restoration because they've been taking care of a sick family member. I'm getting that. Maybe a fire sign person, maybe a child. Maybe you've been taking care of a sick child or something. And so that's why you need a break. Like now mom or dad or both have to get their energy back, right? Because, they've been so dedicated to this care. You may also be awaiting news, again, communication, movement, information about friends or family or a job, or perhaps finances in general. Like your money should be on an uptick when the Page of Wands shows up. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries energy, perhaps an actual person that's helping to facilitate this in your life, maybe younger than you. But pages bring news, and this one brings news of maybe you applied for a job and you hadn't heard back. You're waiting. That's what the Four of Swords and the Eight of Wands would be about. You're waiting. Information, not necessarily delayed, but taking longer than you would have hoped. So what do you got to do? Be the goddess and draw upon your feminine energy of surrender and letting go and not holding on to an energy of anxiety and anticipation about what's happening, and just sort of chilling out in the meantime. You may be awaiting news about a family situation or member as well, and that hasn't necessarily come in yet. And for some, you might be trying to hold on literally to a family, like maybe divorce is on the horizon, thinking about the Four of Pentacles and thinking about death in reverse in your love and romance, thinking about the karmic feminine here with the divine masculine and how she is quite possibly a Leo or again a Cancer, Leo, Cuspian. She may represent these wands here. And then it's just been taking too long in the scope of things. I mean, there's nobody judging you, but taking too long in the scope of things for you to leave this relationship. And you've been holding on to it. Now, the thing about death in reverse, though, is that it's not as bad as death upright. So you could be holding on to a relationship and or, you know, a situation maybe involving your relationships. But when death is in reverse, it's not as serious as when it's upright. So this may not be something you want to break up over with somebody. But for the most part, this is about holding on to a relationship because, again, like I said about the Four of Pentacles, just because it's there and it works otherwise, because you don't want to be alone, because you're not sure what would happen to you financially, because the kids and the family, like what would they say? All of these things. So your guidance here, based on the four cards that are here and the overall energy and what we see here, is to finally take some action. But don't worry about the time that was spent where you didn't take action. Because again, divine timing has been at work in your love life also. So just going with the flow and surrendering to what is and what will be is the way to go. Whether it's in relation to a job you applied for that you're waiting news on, or you've been having some trouble financially and you've been waiting for money, to come your way, expect that it will come. It is, again, on the uptick. If it hasn't begun to flow for you already, it very, very soon will. If you did apply for a job or something and you haven't heard, you very, very soon will. And it's a job that will allow you to be able to take care of your family. So that's not something you have to worry about. You will have to let go of something old that you were holding on to. Maybe that was taking up your time. In order for you to be elevated to this new position, you have to let go of something from before. And the same is going to go for your love life. In order to move forward toward a happy family, a happy you, 10 of Cups kind of energy, you have to let go of that which you've been trying to hold on to. And if it's not an actual person, it can just be negative emotions or cords of attachment associated with a person. So things like regret, resentment, guilt, pride, fear, right? Fear of abandonment, that sort of thing. The inability to forgive is a big one. That's what you have to release, perhaps. Major Arcana card Death represents the sign of Scorpio. And again, maybe this is connected to Pluto being retrograde in your sign. It goes direct soon. So I think that's going to be a block lifted for you. Pluto is the ruler of the sign of Scorpio. Further to this, from the romance angels, yep, free yourself. If I wasn't clear that that's what I was trying to get across and say, yeah, that's what I meant. The guidance for you is to finally leave this stuff behind. It's time for you to take back control of your life. So wherever you did feel stuck, again, those blocks are lifted, so you're no longer stuck. So it is time for you to free yourself and be happy. For the feminine, from the romance angels, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. I feel for some of you, this is actually literal. And that's how you're going to get your 10 of Cups sort of feel. Because there will be an actual engagement coming for you. And maybe it's been delayed. Maybe you've been waiting. Maybe you thought you should have gotten the ring already. And so you've been sort of nervous. It is coming. For others of you, this is a deepening of your emotions. And if you are involved, a deepening of, your level of commitment to each other. Even if it's a spiritual and emotional level as opposed to, a 3D commitment. From the Abundance Oracle to the masculine, unlimited ideas. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas, guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need to do is to take divinely guided action to allow these ideas to come to fruition. Exactly. Totally resonates with everything else that we've seen and said. Feminine, I couldn't make this up. I didn't pick these cards. I didn't know what I was going to say. But I think I just told you a few minutes ago, you probably need to let go of guilt. Negative emotions, right? Well, yeah. The angels agree. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done. And trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. From what I call my hashtag creepy deck, young male. Okay, this can be more than one thing. Like I said before, there could be children involved, and that may be what's holding somebody back. That could be what this 10 of Cups is representing, family, children. And so you've been hesitant to leave, dad or masculine, for that reason. Believing that it's better for children to live in a house with unhappy parents than to have separated ones. Some people do believe that. I'm not one of those. And the spread doesn't seem to agree either. So the guidance is there is an option to repair a relationship if there's a desire to do that. Especially again with death in reverse, because it's not as dire a situation as it would be or would be indicated to be if death was upright. So if you are interested in fixing it and that's a possibility, then, have a conversation. But things can't continue to go on the way they are. The other, another possibility with young male is that may have been one of the blocks. Some sort of ideology, belief system that maybe a younger male, a page, can't be with an older man, woman. So maybe it's seen as like a karmic situation, in the derogatory sense of the word, how it's used now. Karmic is seen as something negative because he's younger. And that's something that you want to let go of too. Like those sort of old, outdated belief systems, they are blocks. Lastly, this could be how the universe wants you to be. Sort of regardless of what your age actually is. Sort of lighthearted and young at heart, like a mutable sign. Like some of us never grow up, essentially. The mutable signs tend to be that way. Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, That may be who the Page of Wands is. You know, just like forever young. And when you're lighthearted and positive and light energy like that, it helps to bring the things you want to manifest toward you, basically. How funny is this? I have one of the other decks I'm using also has a freedom card, so the feminine got hers too. She needs to free herself as well from, again, whatever was holding her back here. And at the root, it is some sort of past life issue. The situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you to remember, release, and to heal from your past experiences. Now, I agree that it can be from a past lifetime, but I also believe when this card shows up that it can just be from your past in this lifetime or both. So it could be something that's coming back up for you to deal with. And I think that based on the other cards that are here, that's more so what it is. Lastly, for the feminine, crystals. The energy of crystals supports you and helps you with your present situation. I was seeing a particular type of crystal. I lost it. It was like a bluish one. But I also think that simple quartz could be very helpful here to not only, I don't want to say protect you from yourself, your own fearful thoughts and everything that are part of the restriction. But yeah, maybe that is what I want to say. And most of us, I think, have some clear quartz. So that may be a good recommendation to work on cutting these cords of attachment and releasing the negative emotions onto which you may be holding, like guilt. I hope that you enjoyed your bi-weekly reading and that you found it helpful. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. To me, it's irritating, but to YouTube or for me, because of YouTube, it is necessary, unfortunately. Yeah. Otherwise, I have all kinds of problems. So yes, if you liked it and you felt like you were helped, even if you didn't like it, if you feel that you were helped by it, that's enough reason for me, if you don't mind, to please give it a thumbs up. And do watch your rising and moon signs for a more full picture. And if you like a private reading from me and or energy healing or the merchandise or anything that I have, you can find that information in the description bar. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Namaste.